Finally! Do you know how long I've been It's you!
Hey.
What's the one present that you want this year for Christmas?
I can be honest.
It was wrong!
I feel like I lost.
Dear Tara Victoria, beautiful Scott. I love you so freaking much, baby doll. Hey, can I borrow $500?
Both of you to play with.
Yeah, Jeff. Alright, Woolly Skins. You know, I have feelings too. You don't happen to have another baby, do you?
This is pathetic.
Could you please get your face off the... Oh, could you please stop licking the window? Throwing a fit is not going to get you what you want. Jeff, look at me. Don't you make that face at me. Oh, you stop that right now.
I didn't see that coming. Okay.
No, I
Okay,
see the
you gotta stop
picture right
crying.
now. And I
Jeff.
don't want to.
I know you don't want to.
I don't want to.
Well, there's no need to
Okay.
take that tone, okay? Grandma's not going to be very
Fine.
happy with you if you don't stand nice.
It's super fun for me to look back on this year and just look at what's changed. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe there's some nostalgia to looking back at memories. I know there's excitement to just see how much I've grown. And really, I just think it's kind of fun to look at all of the things that aren't the same. Like prayers that have been answered, crazy things that I thought I'd never get through, the things I didn't even realize I needed to learn. Like there's something about looking back and seeing progress that I love, because I realize that in just 12 short months, I'm not even the same person that I was last year. And that goes the same for the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, and so on. And I love that. Because if I looked back at my year, like if I watched these videos, if I looked at my prayer and devotional life, like the close relationships in my life, if I did a complete analysis and I couldn't come up with any significant differences, I'd be super worried. Because I don't think that we're meant to live life standing still. Like, we're meant to grow. We're meant to be moving. We're meant for progress. And you see this all over the place in the Bible, like places like 2 Peter 3:18 and 1 Timothy 4:15 and Hebrews 5:12 through 14. And that's just to name a few of many. Like, the entire book of Proverbs is a book dedicated to growing in wisdom and character and not being a fool. Like, no one wants to be a fool. And as Christians, like, if you've given your life to Christ, our pursuit of Him, like our desire to get to know Him more and grow closer to Him, it should show a lot of growth. Like, it shouldn't be hard to look back at a year and see how you've grown in your relationship with God. And now, I don't mean in like this steady upwards trajectory. I think a lot of times it looks like the Rocky Mountains, and maybe with even a car crash right in the middle, but we should see the progress that we've made through the hills and the valleys. And I think that it's important that we do this, because I think a lot of the skeptics to Christianity, they aren't opposed to God. Like, they're opposed to His people. The people who say they believe in Jesus, but they show no progress. Like, nothing in their life suggests that Jesus is something worth living for. In fact, it can even look hypocritical at times, which is something that's so scary to me. Like, it breaks my heart, and it's something that I want to always be trying hard not to happen to me. Like, I never want to become so comfortable that I just look back at the year before and think, thank goodness, like, everything is exactly the same. How boring. And then there's some people who they might look back at this year and think, you know what, like, that's a nice idea and all, like, growing this year, good for you, Jeff, but this has been the hardest year of my life. And can I just say, like, if that's you, I'm so sorry. Like, I've had those years too, and they stink. But I'd like to push back just a little bit and speak to you out of what I've learned from those years of my life and say, like, when you find yourself hurting, running towards Jesus, like running towards your small group, digging into the Word, praying, and seeking to know God more is the only way towards actual healing. And like, something else that I've learned too is that you can still grow in the valley. Growth doesn't only happen on the mountaintops. God is right there with you wherever you are along the way. And now, why do I bring this up? Like, what am I talking about tonight? I thought it was Christmas, Jeff. Like, where's the nice, happy message on baby Jesus? Like, what's the point? And the point is this, like, that my desire for you as your youth pastor, like I desire nothing more than to see you all grow into the men and women that God created you to be. And I know there's distractions left and right. I know being a student is hard. I know you have so much going on. In fact, when I was your age, I let a lot of those distractions get to me. But as I've grown and matured throughout the years, and believe me, there's plenty more maturing to do, but as I've grown and matured throughout the years, I've learned that there is more to life than just seeking comfort and getting the things that I want. And as we come up on another Christmas, a season that could not be more cozy and comfortable, I want us to challenge ourselves and look back at this year and analyze our progress. Something I find interesting about Christmas itself is that nothing has changed. Like, the story is the same. We're unwrapping the same gift of Jesus. History hasn't changed. We are celebrating on the same day. We'll hear the same messages because Jesus was, is, and is to come. His life, death, and resurrection, it remains. In the new covenant through His blood, it holds true even today, and it will for eternity. Like, none of that has changed. The only thing that's changed is you. And so what progress have you made this year? Because I hate to break it to you, but no matter what, we are moving. Like, it's impossible because of how life works to stay the same. The question is, are you heading towards Jesus or away from Him? Are you heading towards wisdom or foolishness? And now, why does it matter to ask ourselves those questions this Christmas? Like, did Jeff just make this video so he could call me a fool? Maybe just a little. I thought it'd be fun. Guilty. No, I'm just kidding. The reason that it matters that we ask ourselves these questions about which direction we're heading is because I want you to get more out of this season than a good feeling. Like, I want you to get more than what you put on your list and like what you asked for. I want you to get more than you could ever think of or imagine, which is a promise of how God works in our lives from Ephesians 3:20. Like, I want you to experience the fullness and joy of Jesus that we celebrate during Christmas and continue to grow closer to Him so that every single year you can look back and just think like, man, how did I get away with being so foolish back then? And then just praise God for how you've grown. Like, I don't want this Christmas to just be another Christmas where nothing changes. I want it to be a Christmas where your life changes. Like, don't you? 1 John 4:9, it says this: "This is how God showed His love among us. He sent His one and only Son into the world that we might live through Him." And I think this is just a beautiful picture of what Christmas is all about. Like God showed us his love by sending his son, the historical Jesus, to live, die, and resurrect in order that we may live. And how is it that we live? By loving God and loving others. And so, how are you doing in those areas of your life? If you're anything like me, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But let me just end by saying this. Everything changed 2,000 years ago. Like history and eternity, it was never the same the moment that Jesus was born. Jesus literally changed the world, and we can look back in the history books and see how that's true. Like as Christians, we've made the claim that Jesus has changed our life. And so in the same way, I hope that we can look back at the history book of our own life and see how Jesus changed everything. Like let's break the routine this year and really ask ourselves if our lives are proof that Jesus changes everything. Changes everything.
All right. Whoops.